Hi, everybody, and welcome back to yet another cracking installment of the Map Round Show. This is the Secrets of Fail series, where we're talking to CEOs all about their business blunders and what they learned in the process of failing. And with us on the line from Minnesota is none other than David Zimmel, the CEO of InPursuitSearch.com. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, man, it's great to have you here. There's a lot to talk about here. So why don't you kick us off with the elevator pitch, David? What are you up to at InPursuit Search?
InPursuit is a national retained search firm. We work with small to middle market growth-oriented organizations, 5 million to 75 million in revenue, to analyze key talent needs, roles within their business, define some gaps within the business, and locate external talent to meet the company's objectives. We do this by using a proven process called the InPursuit way of talent acquisition.
Sounds very, very interesting. Just give me one sec. Where are you sitting at the moment, David?
I'm in Minnesota, the state of hockey.
Okay, cool. There you go. Beautiful. All right. So you work with these companies to find and help them attract and source new talent. Is that pretty much where you come in? Is helping them go to war against everybody else when it comes to finding great people?
Absolutely.
All right. Fantastic.
And the way we look at it is there's basically two levers within the business. One is financial, the cash side of the business, as well as the people side of the business. That's where we see the business starting in identifying top talent to identify ways to improve and meet the goals of the business. That's the overall objective.
And are you typically working with the CEO or with someone that's in the HR function?
Mostly we're working with the business owners, the CEO. We could be working with the functional leads, whether it's a VP of sales, a CFO, maybe a manufacturing operations leader, a variety of leaders within the business. But so most of the time we're working with the leadership team.
All right, beautiful. So let's get into the meat and the potatoes. What is your story of fail for our audience around the world today, David?
Sure. I think we started off with building a kind of a traditional search firm. And in traditional search firms, from a people perspective, there's the kind of delivery model and the sales folks. And the delivery model was individuals that would do local, regional, and national sourcing or lead gen for particular talents and functions and industries, correct? And then on the business side, business development side or sales side, we'd look for top talent that could pursue in companies that had a need to hire specific talent. So that was kind of our initial or start within building the business, and then provide some administrative support behind that to support both teams.
All right. So what transpired as a result of that?
What we found is that even if we were identifying people that had skills and experiences that met both sides of that equation, we found that sometimes the motivations, the interests, career pathing, and compensation didn't match what we needed and what the talent that we were bringing in required or had interest in. So it was a mismatch. It was a flawed organizational structure within professional services that has been kind of years of history of providing services as well as business development. We really took a close kind of a look at why what we could build, if you will, of a better model, better mousetrap.
Mm-hmm. I love that. A better mousetrap, everybody wins, right? Well, many you.
Exactly.
So what did you learn from this experience?
Well, one of the things that we did was our staff needed or was interested in career pathing, and some of the things that we were viewing or type of work we were getting from our client base didn't match what they had an interest in, what they're motivated by, what they really wanted to work on. And so it was a mismatch there. So what we continue to look at is we had turnover issues, we had compensation issues, we had moving outside the business. So they would learn the business, we would train them, provide a significant amount of training, and they would decide not to pursue the industry and get out of the industry. So we saw a lot of different hiccups along the way, if you will, of, hey, the right person, we were looking at the wrong person for the chair that we needed.
Yeah, it's I suppose it's the analogy of putting the right people in the right bus seats.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And the more we kind of looked at that model and said, yep, up front, these people might say they might be interested, but once they get into that seat, they might be not as interested in pursuing that type of career.
Why do you think that is, though? What's the reason for that? Where have you landed after all the years now?
Well, I think it's hard. I think it's hard to constantly learn a new business. I think that it's in the recruiting business, it is a grind. You got to find ways to motivate yourself. You got to find ways of interest. This is a high curiosity job and high interactive with people, a research job. It's understanding a wide variety of business functions. It's understanding, what works, what doesn't work for particular positions. So there's a lot of analysis. There's a lot of research. There's a lot of business acumen. There's a lot of interaction with people and challenging them on, what do they bring to the table? What have they accomplished? What are they motivated by? What's their next step within their career? Why are they interested in leaving their current situation? Why would they be good at this job? What are their expectations within the next job? What is their compensation expectations? Where do they want to go? What's their work-life balance type activities? Some of those things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, David, if you could go back in time and do things differently, what would you do differently and why?
I would really look at the business model that we addressed initially. We kind of took it for granted that we were going to build out this professional services organization the way traditional organizations worked. And with the skill sets that we had in-house, as well as what the owners wanted to do within the business and what their strengths were, we should have mapped out in detail some of the things that were our strengths and the gaps that were required to deliver on a great service for our client base. And taking a really close look at that, we would have identified a different model that works more effectively for us as business owners, and as well as talent that we could bring in. So that's really a key learning for us, is to say, hey, don't do it the traditional way. Take a look at what you want to do and what works for your business, and how do you serve your customers.
Yeah, it's becoming a pretty apparent theme on this series, where failure teaches you what not to do, and in your case, it did the same thing. And then it was, we're going to change our business model to change so that we can actually get to a place where it makes sense commercially for us. But it seems to me like it's a necessary byproduct, right, of this process of failure.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe not doing it the way people have done it in the past, but look at, what are the ways people want to work? What are the skill sets? What's motivating people today? People today are not just falling in line with, hey, this is the job. I got to work my job 8 to 5. I punch the clock. It's a different environment today. And really understanding some of the intangibles of people and their characteristics of motivation, interest, career path, work-life balance. Some of those things are really to the forefront of what we're trying to accomplish within the workforce.
Mm-hmm. David, what's your advice to other CEOs and entrepreneurs in terms of the importance of failure in business success today?
I think there's a checkpoint, right? We're always tweaking. We're always moving forward. We're always trying to improve what we're currently doing. It's a process improvement way of continuing and growing your business. And I would highly recommend, whether it's using an EOS model or some type of business operating system to keep people accountable, measure success, tweak things as we move forward, understand what the talent pool is looking to do, keeping in communication with the talent pool on a regular basis, and matching the needs of the talent pool with the customers that you serve.
Really good advice. David, what about books, tools, and resources that you recommend for other CEOs? Is there something that comes to mind for you?
Well, I think Gino Weckman of the EOS Traction and Rocket Fuel, some of those are my key guiding principles of systems that I seem to think are working very well in my world, in my client base. So those are the ones that I would focus on.
So that's the entrepreneur operating system.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know it very well. One of my good mates is an implementer of EOS, and my wife, weirdly enough, her whole ecosystem is EOS. So clearly it works.
Yes, and I think it's people that it's entrepreneurs. It might be technical type folks, inventors. It might be people that have kind of jumped into creating a business because they have a passion for something, but may not have gone to a business school or may not have all the functional expertise to be able to be successful in business. And some of these things, these tool sets that the EOS system has, can provide that.
Mm-hmm. Well, David, thank you so much for being on the Secrets of Fail series. That concludes your time in the hot seat. Thank you for sharing your story of failure along with everybody else. It seems to be like so this is an awesome series, probably the best one we've ever done. But David, thanks for being vulnerable. It's a hard thing to talk about your failures in a public forum, but you have the courage to do so, and that's what makes you awesome.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for your time. You take care and wish you the best of success.
Anytime. Thanks, everybody.